the
Well, I'm
Quran
just
is
saying,
not
from the
accurate,
4th century
but it's been
building up
changed.
through those
I've
centuries,
already seen his PhD
we ended
thesis
up with
based.
those thousands
The book is based on.
Thousands of
He's
different
like a high school
Yeah.
student
Here's an
trying
interesting
to make a
thing. All the
thesis.
differences
I would not have passed
no
him as
significance
So
in
you
the
have to
main
give your points
messages
of
and
why you
quotations.
refuse that.
Even
Yeah, I've already mentioned that already.
You're talking
Bartman
in
has
general.
even
Oh,
on
I thought what
quote
you were saying
said,
up there,
with
okay.
all
Yes.
the
I need to get a
variances he's
video
talking
actually
about,
to
No, I
none of
have
them
read his
respect
PhD
the
thesis.
core message.
Core
That's
message
it.
is the
It's like, as I said, not
No,
even
no,
a high
no,
school
no,
student
all
would
the
make
core
something
not
like
in the
this.
Bible.
We know manuscripts has,
all the core teachings.
scribal mistakes.
Anyway,
it doesn't make sense.
We don't want
have
chaos
to come
here.
up with your
Peripheral.
reasoning. for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, one
So are
second.
you gonna
Trinity is
put on the
peripheral.
website your reasoning?
Look. Here's
Hi,
the
Josh.
Okay.
thesis.
Okay.
Intentional changes in
you
the
got it,
Quran
okay.
by Daniel Brubaker.
So where are you gonna refute that?
One moment.
Sorry, what are you guys discussing?
So
This
this
is
is
a-
Brubaker. Now they think they've got something. Don't worry about it.
definitely have got something.
Like I've refuted these people before, it will be another example
No,
of
you
my
won't.
PowerPoint.
You
Hang
mean
on.
Jay Smith.
So is there a website we can go to
one-
see your
one second.
debate?
The lies they were talking about, like the Quran, 24, 31 versions and so on and so forth, Hafs Quran is different, Wash Quran is different. Just type in seashells.
Yes.
These are seashell missionaries. Okay, you're supporting them. You will see I have done enough examples of refuting them and their lies from Quranic manuscripts themselves.
Okay.
So you can just go online and
quoted
search.
the sources, right?
Right. So
Where
here,
do I find you?
If
Okay.
you go to Scdawah and look for seashells, is it seashells?
yeah,
Oh,
just,
seashells is what you're saying, is it?
yeah, just say seashell Quran.
Go, look on YouTube.
And type my name
seashells.
Mansur. I'm sure you'll find this particular video of this.
Dan Brubaker
Yeah.
has found variances in all the oldest manuscripts that exist. Okay, which is about 10 of them.
No, that's not true. He only
it true?
examined. He only examined.
Sorry,
You
how
haven't.
How many?
What's his name?
Obviously, you haven't read his thesis, haven't
Mansur.
you? You haven't read his thesis.
No, just-
He's examined some manuscripts.
You're not up to date on that, mate. You're not up to date on that. You're not up to date on that.
my friend.
See.
How many manuscripts are there within the first 300 years of Islam? Quranic manuscripts.
That's 300 years.
Yeah.
I don't know the number. But he's
Has he examined all of them?
He is. Yes.
Seashells.
like-
We have. Do you know? Altogether, we have quarter of a million manuscripts.
No.
He has
But
access
the
to
very
all of them.
oldest, the very oldest,
Seashells.
the very oldest, the most
He had a debate with,
10 oldest
actually, the
manuscripts,
explanation, yeah.
like the ones he mentioned today. There has
copy
been
that entirely.
4,000 variances found
Okay.
in those old manuscripts.
Listen,
4,000.
let me give you an example of.
4,000.
Hang on. Look,
Yeah?
let me
And
give you
they're
some.
significant.
Let me give you some examples.
Significant.
You think significant? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's relax.
No,
Okay,
So-
I know.
that's come
See,
up
I've seen
there.
copies
Yeah,
of
so I've got it. I'll
Did
give
you
it
read the
later,
book?
Okay.
Huh?
Have you read the book?
Yes.
It's not going to
You've
be
read the
published
book?
till tomorrow, is it?
Not the book itself, but I've read the content because I was given the content yesterday.
So
Hang on.
All
the
day.
selective
Spent a whole
Have
day.
you read his thesis? The answer is no. Have you read his
I've
book?
looked at the variances.
Hang on.
I've looked at the
Well,
variances.
that's what you guys do,
The
isn't it?
methodology-
You make general accusations
No.
all the
I know,
time.
I know.
Instead
Look,
of
look.
sticking to the facts. The book's
Excuse me.
book's being published tomorrow,
Hello?
so I didn't even know it's available yet.
Listen, do you want to see
yesterday, okay.
how his thesis is dismantled? Look at all this
But I got a
annotations
copy
Yeah.
yesterday.
by me
And I
and
got
various other people that can do that same thing.
I'll have a look at it.
So no, this is not what I'm saying. Because I'm saying
On the top copy.
this particular individual,
debunk it.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
his methodology
That's what they said the
is
last time.
less than core of a high school student.
These are in the
Let me
museum.
tell you why.
I don't really care.
Let me tell you why.
Because that's your generic statement. You're
Get
not
away with some kind of twisted
I'm about to tell you why.
Okay, go on then.
To establish, like this book says, corruption of the text
Yeah.
implies there's some kind of intentional changes. This is his name of the thesis, intentional changes of the text.
Yeah.
But obviously, he doesn't tell you what he means by intentional changes.
Right.
Tell me, in his definition, what is an intentional change?
No idea.
Wasn't an accident.
Sorry, what's that?
Wasn't an accident.
Wasn't an accident.
He means unintentional.
Yeah, it wasn't an accident.
When we say biblical manuscripts are corrupted,
It was deliberate.
okay, deliberate.
Yeah.
So when someone scribes make a mistake by his eyesight and corrects it, is that a deliberate mistake?
That's not what it was. That's not what we're talking about.
Hang on. So this is the level of your ignorance that
No,
you're showing.
not at all.
Allow me to finish my statement. You cut me half in the middle.
You're insulting them.
This is the
you're-
level of
like a
your.
higher
Yeah, you get
Look,
a personal inside.
my
The way you
friend,
talk about
personal bit.
my friend.
Well, I was being the truth.
I'm
what you preach.
I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You know why?
No, I'm not being
because
personal to you.
because he defines what he means by intentional changes.
insulted by being like, if
He
you're
says
lying,
basically
Yeah.
You said that was no
any
context,
changes.
and he gave you the context, so you lied.
any changes.
You guys
So
don't
even
believe
if
in
it
it.
was
You don't believe in a
even if it was
concept.
a change by some accident, he calls that a change. But you know that this is not a corruption of a text. For example, you might just miss a word when you're writing. that's not an intentional corruption.
Right. Can I give you an example? Here's an example then. So we've got in the old manuscripts the dots, the diacritics, whatever you call them.
In the Hebrew.
Yeah. In those generations, but at that time, those dots did not exist.
Of course
So
they
in
did.
the in those
From the first
manuscripts.
Are you
century.
talking about the Hebrew now?
No, he's talking about
Hebrew,
Arabic.
The manuscripts
The Arabic
of
ones.
Quran.
Quranic,
Yeah.
okay.
Those
okay.
Qurans,
Yeah.
as you see the Qurans, they're without the dots.
Show him the first
The
manuscript.
dots get added later on. So in this particular example of the
That's what I said, little knowledge
of
is
the
dangerous.
manuscript, of that manuscript, which is the one you can find in a museum, it does not contain dots.
Which museum?
Huh?
Which museum?
The one in Topaki, wherever that is. What's the first
Top
one?
copy.
Top copy,
Look,
yeah.
top copy. I'll tell you. I'll tell you now.
So let me finish. So in
I'll
the
finish.
top copy, where he shows that this was an insertion, the insertion is the only element of the word that's got dots on them. All the ones around it have no dots.
Sure. So it's a
So-
later correction, right?
Yes.
Good.
So it's
now,
not like a typo, and
Okay,
that and fix
wait-
it.
wait a moment.
Much later on.
Okay.
So therefore,
Now-
somebody's come back to the manuscript.
I have the
and
top copy
made the
on my
correction.
phone. We can go through that example if you want. Top copy is here on my phone.
With the dots, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
With the, now, wait. Slowly.
The
Now,
original top copy.
excuse me. One second.
Yeah.
Let me show you before I go into this. Look,
It's not top part.
on folio 330,
Yeah.
page 7R, there's an
I didn't
alif.
know. No.
Are you listening?
It's quite shiny actually. I thought you might be.
There is an alif insertion. So someone inserts an alif there,
Yeah.
and you call it corruption, right? One example. Oh, in another one, there's an alif written about it. There's another one, another alif.
Yeah.
Right? Wait. Oh, another alif.
Yeah.
So you're saying these are corruption, not realizing
That's
that
not. We're not
if you allow me to finish,
Using a new word.
an alif is an insertion in
Right.
his understanding.
Yeah.
So, Quranic manuscript had traditions in writing, because you have the Kufans writing in a particular way, you have the Basrans writing in another way. So, manuscripts were written in a particular tradition of writing, because writing itself was being developed as the Quran was revealed to them. The Arabs did not have a fully functional, developed orthography of Arabic language. Quran is the first book in Arabic language that you can even point to. Right. So when there are Quranic schools writing Quranic manuscripts in different area, in Basra and in Kufa and so on, they had their own traditions of how to write. The question is, how do you vocalize an oral text? For example, if I say I want to say Al-Alameen, now how do you write it with this prolongation? Are you going to write E-E-E-E-E-E-N at the end to say in? Or are you going to say one E? Or are you going to say E with a dash at the top? Convention is important. So when the Quran was written, in certain manuscript traditions, all of those things which has like a vowelized form of alif sound, like Alameen, they would not have that vowel in there. So you might think it says just Alameen, but actually when it's written, it will be always, when it's recited, it will be always recited as Alameen, even though there is no alif, this particular letter vowel, A type sound, A sound. So certain manuscripts were kept with certain places, and they thought, now we want to read this manuscript. This is not like, a treasure. When they had this manuscript, it wasn't a manuscript, it was just a copy of the Quran. They want to read it, and they want to say, I want to read it with this aid. Now we have the aids of dots and alif, whatever, we can make it easier for us to read. So they would differentiate this with a different color and put it on the text so it's easier to read. Original is there, so you can see that, okay, this is like a
Preserving
red.
the pronunciation.
Yes, so it is making sure people are pronouncing correctly. Without the alif, you would still read it as Alameen, Malik, and so on. So these examples are not of corruption intentionally by adding text. Get a life and understand what's happening. Secondly,
I'm not even saying that. That's not even the claim. That is not the claim.
Listen.
That is not even the claim.
Clearly, look, how can you even argue with me when you haven't even read the thesis?
But do they know even Arabic?
Look,
Do you even understand?
look,
But
here.
your
basics of
argument
Arabic.
is not against the claim.
You need to
Listen,
understand the
the
basics of Arabic to know
The
this.
claim is saying that when we look at the original manuscript, those are the oldest manuscripts that we've got, which is not the original, obviously, because you haven't got an original
We got
manuscript.
the first century Al-Hijrah. Unlike you guys.
No, you haven't.
What?
You don't have the first
You don't have a
century.
full Quran at the very first one.
We do.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. Nice talking
Anyway,
to you.
Likewise,
God
Julie.
bless,
Take care.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Are you? Where are you?
This is a long way away.
No, a long way away.
He doesn't want to tell you basically.
No, I won't.
But anyway, Julie, you get the idea.
Anyway,
Do you come down here every week?
yeah, pretty much.
No, you don't.
Sadly, pretty much.
No, you don't.
I do.
Right.
I
It's
do.
okay.
I'm
It's
a
all right.
regular.
It's all right.
Am I not a
Very
regular?
well.
We are old friends, Mark and I.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, come on. So,
Anyway,
Julie, nice talking to you.
so-
Thanks for your time.
so
By the way,
anyway-
watch the video. I give you the channel name.
If you go to the Dan Brubaker, and of course there are 4,000 of these examples, in the book there are 22 that have been given, and these 22, we've got insertions, we've got subtext underneath,
I'll have a look, I'll have a look.
we've got things that have been removed and
How
raised,
do you
we've got
treat that?
things
How do you two know
inserted
each other?
where there wasn't
How do you
space.
I just told you,
Not from
manuscript
here.
traditions can have scribal mistakes and correction within it.
Yeah, but here's the point.
What's the point?
Here's the point, is that because of the evidence we've got, those
He's a proper mystery
updates
like you.
were clearly done at a later stage, not at the time.
Take care,
Not at the
bye-bye.
time.
So this is a homework for
And
you
the
Christians.
reason why
Hang
we
on.
know this, sorry, let me just say this saves point. The reason why we know this, because there were different style of writing, different nib, different ink, and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Even Brubaker himself says this. Some of them are original correction by the original scribe.
Yeah.
You forgot to read that because you haven't read his thesis.
No, because somebody sent him only a selected.
Yeah. So what I'm asking
Portion of
you
the book,
is
and
this:
they read
a homework.
No, there's
A homework.
4,000.
Little knowledge is
No,
dangerous.
No, hang
Not at
on.
all.
A homework for
Not
you,
at
my
all.
friend.
Yes.
A homework.
Not at all.
Right. I want you,
This is
the
a red
Christians, I want you Christians to find an example that you think was very significant and find manuscripts, contemporaneous or earlier, which goes with supposed original and not this correction. Then you have a point. But if you can't find any manuscripts, but every manuscript is in line with how we read it, then you are just waffling and waffling, nothing else.
And
Waffling in the water.
Mark, also find the first century Christian manuscripts.
Yeah.
Because you said 79 AD. I want to know where.
So what I'm saying is that when you look at the earliest 10 manuscripts,
Which manuscripts? you're talking about?
the earliest 10 that was...
So are you talking about the Bible or the Quran now?
Quran.
Okay, good.
So in those manuscripts, you are seeing all sorts of variations, which has been documented. There are over 4,000 of them. Okay.
Just making a,
Right.
how many of them, of these 4,000,
Yeah.
are actually variations that are consistent across the manuscripts from that period?
That's not my point.
That is my point.
No, but that's a red herring.
It's not a red herring.
Because what your claim is,
I don't think you understand
what
what
your
he's
claim is, every manuscript is perfect and
Who's
without
claimed that?
error.
Hang on, who's claiming that?
Muslims, you guys have.
Wait,
even
slow,
claimed it.
slow
You've
down.
claimed it.
Slow down.
You've claimed it.
Slow down. Which Muslims on planet Earth are saying every single manuscript is like a printed copy without any printing mistakes? Who claimed that?
You guys have.
I think you're just making
You're just
up things.
hearing
No.
fairy tales.
You said
should wrap
every
up. It's been
every ayah, every dot, every word, every surah.
Oh, now I
has been
realize
preserved,
you have been
has
brainwashed by
preserved.
all these
your
things.
words, your
No,
words,
listen.
your words. I've heard it myself.
Listen.
I've heard it on the video. So
Of course, you didn't speak up
I've
in
heard
the
it.
language that I
So-
spoke.
No.
Let me tell you what I mean.
So what?
Hello, let me tell you what I
So
mean.
you-
Let him
Let me tell you what I mean, right? Let me tell you what I mean.
I'll give you in a minute.
No, before you in a minute, let me tell you because you have misunderstood
You're making an
exactly.
allegation against him. Let him
Well, let
clarify.
me finish my sentence.
Okay,
then.
go on.
So that in case you misunderstand.
Okay, what did I say?
So what I'm saying is that you
What did I
said
say?
that the Quran
Yeah.
from the day of Muhammad has been preserved in every dot, every ayah, every element of the Quran. So when you go back,
Finish
to
your
check-
sentence. Finish your sentence.
So to today,
No, finish your sentence.
yeah.
The
so,
Quran is every dot, every ayah, and then finish your
yeah,
sentence.
every surah, every word has
What?
been preserved.
That's true.
And is
Preserved. Don't you get it?
no.
Preserved. Let me tell you how it's preserved. Do you know what a dot is in the manuscript tradition? What does a dot mean?
The diacritic, or whatever you call it. These five vowelations or whatever. The things that change the way that that particular word needs to be pronounced and understood.
A dot has two meanings. Go on, I give you the chance to now learn something today.
Yeah, you have 5 dots.
What
Five
do the
potential
dots?
Two at top and 3 down the bottom.
What do the dots represent in Quranic manuscripts?
That's Urdu.
What
No, you have
do
dots
the
around
dots?
the left.
All right.
Okay,
Carry on.
what do the
something like
dots?
that.
What do the dots represent in the Quranic manuscripts? Obviously, it's clearly showing again. I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
You haven't picked up any scholarly work on the Quranic manuscripts. What they mean by dots? What is a dot in the Quranic manuscript tradition?
So that that particular word can be properly understood what it means in the way that you need to
You have
understand
the
that
option
word.
to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, be frank and say,
Is that not
sorry,
right?
I was misled
Is that
by
not
my
right?
team.
No,
I don't know.
No.
let me tell you what it is. A dot could be differentiating between the letters with diacritical markings. To differentiate between ba and ta, you can have a dot or a marker and it differentiates it between the two consonantal letters. You can have dots which are colored, like green, blue, red, yellow. They can tell you about vowelization. So it's vowelization and diacriticization. So Quran has been preserved in both of these instances to this meticulous level of detail. So for example, we read Maliki Yawmiddin and Maliki Yawmiddin. Both have been preserved.
Here's my issue with this.
From day one.
So when we look at the 10 manuscripts and you compare the surahs between the 10 manuscripts, they don't agree on every single passage in every ayah.
Okay. Here is my challenge to you.
There you go.
Yep. And to your...
There you go.
Hold on. Listen. I'm responding to you.
Surah 66
I'm
verse 8 is a good example.
Okay, 66.8.
Yeah.
Are there any manuscripts contemporary to 66.8 that is exactly the same as this correction?
Say that again.
Okay. 66.8 is an
Yeah.
example. They said there's an
Yeah.
insertion.
Yes.
Right.
And in the top copy, or whatever it's called, it doesn't exist.
That particular manuscript has an insertion, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So insertion is a corruption, isn't it?
potentially.
Right. So do we have, without the insertion, another manuscript of the same time or before, exactly the same as this manuscript? Or even manuscripts later?
So what we're saying is like the top copy, or whatever way you pronounce that, that hasn't got that verse in at all. Okay?
I am asking you simple. God-given brain, use it please. If this is a corruption, meaning the original text was what it was there in the first time, and someone corrupted it by adding a word to it, right? That means forget the addition of the word. The original writing, do you have consistency of this writing with other manuscripts, because that's what the other manuscripts will have? Before, even or after?
We're not questioning that. We're questioning that there are variances between the manuscripts.
Do you not
That's
get this
the claim.
straight in your head?
Yeah.
God-given intelligence, use
Don't
it
need to
by...
insult me. Don't need to insult
I'll tell you what.
That's personal.
Excuse me, I am going to call a spade a spade.
No, no, you're not, because I don't make that accusation to you.
What did I say?
I don't get personal like that.
Did
to
I
you.
say you have a God-given intelligence?
Yeah.
So when did I say you haven't got it?
Don't try and use it like
No,
it's just.
I'm saying,
That's an insult.
listen, I am saying simply, if that is the original reading, the author who copied it from somewhere or transcribed it, is he the only one on planet Earth back then who was writing the Quran? Or there were other people?
Of course there are others.
Right. Did the others also have the same text?
Right. So here's my point.
Excuse me. Did the others have the same text? Or the ones before him did they have the same text? The one after him did they have the same text?
Right. Let me just put this point out, because this is the only way I can qualify this, as we'll go around circles.
Did you understand my point?
Yeah, but let me qualify
Okay,
this.
tell me first what you understood.
Let me qualify this in a much better way. We take all the old manuscripts that we have found variances in all of them. In all of them.
You're just waffling.
In all of them. No.
I'm picking a particular example. Example.
Are you disputing what I'm saying here? Are you disputing that
You
claim?
are not dealing with.
claim?
You're not dealing with the example at hand. I am
I
saying.
see what you're saying.
Surah
but that's
66.8.
not my claim.
What
my
is the
claim?
claim?
Is that between the manuscripts, all the old manuscripts we've got, there are variances in all of them.
There are what?
Variances.
Scribal errors and correction.
Yes.
So what?
What do you mean? So what?
Yeah. So
That's
what?
not the Muslim claim.
What is the Muslim
The
claiming?
scholars.
You know what? This is
all
exactly
the
what I hear.
scholars-
You make.
All your
You make a claim
Let me
based on
finish.
what? No one makes such a claim. Who makes a claim? Which you're debunking?
All your latest,
No one.
Yeah. All your latest scholars,
Red herring.
All your latest
Straw man.
scholars. No. All your latest scholars say that you haven't got those variances. They don't exist. That's my issue.
Name me a scholar. You made a claim. Name me a scholar. Game is up.
No.
Name me a scholar.
All the latest ones.
Name
All
me
the
a
current
scholar.
ones.
Name
Anyone.
one.
I don't know the name
Name
of that.
one scholar on planet Earth. The claim that you are making, that they're making. Planet Earth is a big world, right?
Yeah.
So go on.
Well, no, put it this way. Are these new scholars
Excuse
not
me.
claiming that then?
Excuse
Are they
me.
disputing that?
Mark, if you have any integrity left,
No.
any integrity
Just
left,
because I
name
don't
one
remember the
scholar.
name, but are your
Oh,
scholars...
you don't remember the name.
because I could-